Now I'll start recording as well. Yes. Cool. So, yes, you already know about me. This is a good picture, so I thought of putting it here. Okay. Uh, okay, so now getting into the subject for today, which is content marketing. I know you have been through the videos, so I'm gonna kind of make it quick. Just go through this PPT, and then we'll have the brainstorming. Okay, so I think the older students, the students that have worked with me, would know the fun that we have when we brainstorm, and also the kind of value that it adds when we actually brainstorm. So we'll be doing a bit of brainstorming today as well as far as content marketing is concerned. But let's just go to the PPT one. So Seth Godin, so those who are on Facebook will know that he is my hero. Absolutely legend, this guy. I have learned a lot from him. So he says that content marketing is the only marketing left, right? So gone are the days when you could just cold sell on Facebook or cold sell on email. We definitely have to invest in content marketing. So let's just lay down a context so it helps you in these many things. N number of objectives can be achieved by using content marketing. All right, and this is this is the how content marketing is relevant across these different arenas. Okay, 70% India. So I'm going to move through this quickly, okay, because we have already gone through it. That's the only reason we are moving through this. Okay. This also we looked at how the whole paradigm has shifted now because of the whole competition. Basically, it helps us. The basic thing that content marketing does is that it helps us to separate ourselves from the noise, right? And this was an addition that I added myself. Content basically helps you build trust. This is the most important element, right? The element of trust. There are so many brands out there. Which one do we trust? Do we trust Apple? Yes. Do we trust Google? Yes. Okay. Do we trust a brand that you absolutely love? Yes. So we just have to do that. Content marketing is basically a tool for us to earn trust. All right. This is the agenda for today, which we already know. Okay. A few myths were broken. So, firstly, B2B content, it needs to be serious. That's what this is. It's just a myth. See, every business is essentially a P2P business. What's a P2P business? Person to person, right? Even if it's a B2C business or a B2B business, you're actually dealing with a person. You are not dealing with a building. You are not dealing with an organization. You are dealing with a person. So it doesn't have to be serious. You are essentially talking to a human being only. Okay, then it content definitely needs to have some kind of an emotional resonance, some kind of humor, and my favorite word is storytelling. Okay, so storytelling is something that that has been in our DNA since our ancestors used to live in caves. Because if you remember, during those times, there used to be fireside chats, right? And where people used to exchange stories. So storytelling is something which is ingrained in our DNA. Why does a kid fall, asleep at night when he or she hears a beautiful story? Okay, because one can absolutely connect with it, and the same logic is carried forward in marketing as well. So we have to be excellent storytellers, right? Okay. Uh, and we looked at a couple of case studies. We looked at how Cisco tells stories. Okay, we looked at how this brand Rico tells stories. So very serious B2B brands, but still telling stories. You don't need a village. Okay, this is a favorite slide of mine, because in this age is absolutely easy to make content, right? You simply need to have a cell phone. Even if you are a really small startup, they're just starting out, and you don't really need to buy an expensive DSLR. You don't really need to buy an expensive mic. Your cell phone might just be enough. All right, so this is one thing to take into consideration, that we do not need a big army to create content. Okay, social media followers do not care about your brand. Okay, sounds harsh but true. It basically means that people care about how you make them feel. It's not about what the brand is all about. It's about how you make them feel when they consume content. And this is actually liberating, because then the focus is not about being selfish. The focus is not about being me. The focus is now then you. Basically, you can only focus on the consumer, and you can create content which will touch the consumer, which will make them smile, which will make them laugh, which will make them cry a little. All right. uh, I'll just take questions in a bit. Okay, so stop selling, start giving. And this, anyway, we have touched on in the social media marketing classes as well. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, how many of you have gone through the video before coming to this class and done the tasks as well? Okay, I believe you had to go through the video before. I'm sure this was conveyed to you, right? If you haven't gone through the video, you might just struggle with it a little. Yes. Okay. So now let's try to stay with the class and see if you understand. All right. Okay. Thank you for sharing this, Sandeep. Okay. All right. I'll complete the myths. I'll stop at a point and then I'll open up question answers, or maybe I'll cover the whole thing and then open up question answers. So if you have any questions, uh, you can just note them at the side. Okay, so guys, just to summarize, this video was to be seen before you came for the class. The tasks had to be done. The agenda of this lecture is not me explaining the presentation again. That's why you can see I'm moving very fast, because you're seeing it for the second time. That's what I'm assuming. So now let's just see how much we can grasp. Okay. Okay. So mediocre content will hurt your brand, and I think this is not news for us. We have been, I mean, all of us have at least one point of time, at least at one point of time, have struggled with social media marketing. I too have always struggled with social media marketing, so I know the importance of good content. So mediocre content will hurt your brand. Okay, and hence it's not something that you do as a side hustle. It's not something that you do as a bonus. In fact, this is the main thing that you do, and the rest of the activities are subordinate. Okay. So what does good content, what constitutes good content? So this is extremely important. Okay, even an experienced trainer like me was, when I was working on this PPT, I myself, felt that I learned something. I'm not even exaggerating. So just going back to the basics, so sometimes we are entertaining, sometimes we are informative, but if we can strike a sweet spot between informative and entertaining, it's it's a jackpot, because now you can create content which is making people laugh, but also informing them at the same time. So it's like you're opening their mouth so that they can laugh, and then you're popping in a pill of wisdom. That's how it works. So I have had my own YouTube channel where I used to publish extremely informative content, extremely educational content, and no one used to watch it. Why? Because it did not really have that X factor. It wasn't really entertaining. It was more of me doing whatever hell that I want to do, but and not caring what people actually want. So when there is a sweet spot, things are much easier. Helpful, inspiring. Okay, two very very important words. Entertaining, yes. Also a really interesting slide, this one, that it's what the company stands for. It's what the audience pain points are and the content. So a sweet spot when you find a mixture. See, even you and me, let's say my expertise is in cricket right now. Yes, let's say I love cricket and I love, let's say I love meditation. Okay, but right now you are not concerned about that. Okay, you're simply you there is no overlap. Okay, and hence this cricket and meditation lies here. But right now you are interested in the subject of digital marketing, and hence there is an overlap. All right, and because of this overlap, this communication is possible. So content marketing works the same way. All right. So a good framework is this. Persona needs. I love this framework. You first need to create persona needs, and this is challenging because it will need you to be empathetic. It will need you to really dig in to the kind of audience that you want to cater to. What are their problems? What are their hopes? What are their dreams? Then you go to business challenges. So what is it that we want to achieve through this content? Do we want to create awareness? Do we want to launch a product? Okay, and then we move to content themes, or you can also call it big rock content, whatever. And then we go to the distribution strategy. You can have great content, but if you are not distributing it properly, you are going to struggle. So development of buyer persona is extremely important. These questions we can ask ourselves when we are doing that. Okay, so what are the issues faced by buyer personas? What are they going through? Is what is important. Yeah. So the who, the what, and the why. You basically find the answers to the personas, and you can always research. It doesn't have to be guesswork. You can actually look at the numbers. You can look at the data. You can interview people, and you can use a few tools to figure out what is actually going on. What are people searching for? Okay, then the exercise. So anyway, we are going to do an exercise of our own. So I'm going to skip it. How to perform a content audit. So you audit the existing content. Okay, all of us, a lot of times I've been told that no, but I do not have content. What do I do? But actually, we have a lot of content. Just today in the morning, I was with a friend. With I'll be with someone's mic is on. Okay, so just today morning, I was talking to a friend who has, his own digital marketing agency, and he was telling me about the interesting case studies that he has. I mean, his success stories in the recent past. Now, the success stories that he has itself becomes a content. Okay, if you have done some good work for the client, it itself can become a podcast. It itself can become a video. It itself can become a blog. So we have content. We just think that we don't. We have a lot of content. So measuring the performance. Okay, and then we spoke about the big rock content, the whole turkey example. Yeah, how a big major content can be broken into different pieces, and the same content can in a way be recycled. Okay, and yeah, so you invest a lot of time in creating one mega piece of content, and then you kind of break it down into smaller pieces. Okay, so guys, I think what I'll do is we are almost midway done. I'll complete the whole PPT, and then I'll open up question answers just to keep the flow. Okay, if you are, do you guys agree? If you are agreeing, just say I, AYE. Yeah, just complete the whole PPT. Okay, so we looked at this. Okay, again, how to break them into slices. We have this in the exercise as well. We looked at how different types of content can be used. How can you distribute them in 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 different this thing, in the week. How you can distribute them. We looked at a calendar. We also are going to prepare. small calendar for today. Okay, so everything that we have learned, we'll put it into action. LinkedIn content marketing tactical plan. So see, you have to understand that this is not, you cannot kind of templatize it. All of us love template answers because then the work is saved. But if everyone had a template, everyone would be successful. But only a few brands are successful simply because they make their own template, they make their own blueprint. But we can always look at a few examples and get inspired to create one of our own. So this is another way of creating a content plan, which is more tactical. So where how all what are the different ways in which I can, what are the different opportunities that I have, let's say on LinkedIn, to promote content, what all I can promote, what are the objectives of that promotion, what are the key metrics that I'll monitor, and what are the action items, right? So then you have the marketing funnel, the whole thing of awareness, consideration, conversion, and advocacy. Okay, we know all this. We have been looking at this since quite a few days now, especially if you have completed the social media module. Yeah, then okay, so just again going back to this template, there was this one super case study by LinkedIn where they identified the problem, they identified the personas, right? So they identified this persona, and they realized that a lot of agencies in India have this issue of creating content, and hence they decided to solve that problem. It's always about the customer, it's always about them. It's not about what LinkedIn wants to say, it's about what they are going through, what are their problems. And if you realize, I mean, if you just really introspect, you will realize that there's always some way, some skill, some knowledge, some wisdom that we have, which we can definitely share with the audience. And in this case, LinkedIn had the wisdom of creating good content for entrepreneurs or SMB owners. So they understood that, okay, these are the challenges that Indian marketers have, and they created a whole, they invested a whole kind of effort. So these were the, this was the campaign objective, and then they kind of made it a regional, they created a regional guide, which is so fascinating, right? You create a guide which is regional. It is not, it's not global, it's not for everyone, it's only regional, which makes it even more fascinating. Okay, and then they, yeah, so then how they, this is just a glimpse of how it looked like, how the guide looked like. So it had a lot of reports, a lot of data, and a lot of assistance to people, so anyone who was reading it could start their content marketing activities. Oops, one sec. And then it could be broken down into pieces. So the same kind of content can now be made inspirational, humorous. I mean, these are the kind of options that they had. Okay, every, let's say there are two brands doing the same thing. Okay, there is a gym. Let's say there is a gym. Now that gym can choose to go the humorous way. They want to make only memes about gyms, or they only want to crack jokes about gyms, which is fine. Some gyms can be inspiring. Some gyms want to talk about, let's say, news. Some gyms want to give instructions. So all of these approaches are right. There is no right or wrong. We have to look at ourselves. We have to look at our expertise, our mission, and then choose the path. This is how the guide looked like. Okay, and then the distribution channel, of course. Okay, so what is distribution? Distribution is basically when you create a content piece, it obviously needs to be distributed everywhere. Just like an artist just can't paint and hope that people will see the painting. An artist, let's say a photographer, can't only click photos and keep it at his house. He needs to go to exhibitions, he needs to publish them on social media, he needs to show it to people, and so on and so forth. So distribution is equally important as creation. And there are different arenas. Okay, there is search, email, publications, employees, LinkedIn, etc. So when we do the small exercise, we'll also look at the different areas where the or the areas where the content can actually be distributed. Okay. Mm, then testing, of course, optimization, A/B testing that can be done. You can see which content is doing well, and then do more of it. Okay, repurpose the content, so break it down into different pieces. Okay, I think in the social media module when we had done the brainstorming for the yoga class today, we are again going to stick to a B2C example and a B2B example. The B2C example will again be yoga. We studied how a single piece of content can be a video, it can also be a blog, it can be a podcast, it can be everything. So you can break it down into different pieces. You obviously have to monitor the results. You have to see how many downloads, how many leads, how many feedbacks. Extremely important. And then the measurement of ROI. Okay, so matrix we already know what are we have been studying them, but how do we process those metrics is what we need to understand. Okay, so it eventually has to be connected with sales, which is the most challenging thing to do at times, but yes, it essentially needs to be correlated with sales. And then this pyramid was inverted. If you guys remember, the this is again applicable for the older students only, that when we did the brainstorming exercise, we always started off with the end objective in mind. So you do not start with you do not start with how many people we want to reach out to. You start with the revenue itself. Okay, so this is something that we need to avoid, and we need to start off with this: that okay, if I want to generate this much of revenue, how much do I need to sell, and how much qualified leads do I need, and so on. Then benchmarking content, always striving to make benchmark your content against something. And then we looked at a few case studies. Okay, so this was a CIO, HCL CIO straight talk. All right, this is a case study by HCL where they used to cater to only CIOs, and thus because they were focusing on a small niche, they could really create content which is meaningful to them, and not the whole world, but only meaningful to a certain set of people. So, and what are the advantages of that? So you firstly get subscription data. People subscribe to your content. You get a lot of research done when you look at that content, because you just have to observe. We are already talking about that particular topic. You simply need to observe and figure out even more what are their hopes, what is the real pain point. Then of course you get downloads. The campaign ROI is there anyway, and then you have the business ROI. Okay, all right. The same goes for American Express. The same kind of case study was there, and I think so. The takeaways were, so content is a journey, not a sprint. It's a lifelong process. It's not something which will give you results in a week or two. Test, learn, and optimize. Very simple. Yeah, we have to keep on testing, learning, and optimizing. It's not that you have figured it out all. It's an ongoing battle always. Relevancy is important. You cannot show any random content just to get viral. A lot of brands have tried doing it, doesn't work. These are the steps, and yeah, conclusion. All right. So before we open question answers, so I will get into the specific question answers. Before that, I just haven't heard from you guys since quite some time, so I'm getting a little nervous. If you all, I know you have questions, I know you have doubts, but if you all have understood the overall meaning, overall message of the whole PPT, of the whole module, just type in the word Hajur. So my friend from Nepal, she recently taught me this word known as Hajur, which means yes. Just type in HAJUR. If you have got the overall, if you have understood the overall feel of this session, and then we can jump into question answers. Only two Hajurs, okay? Hajur, Hajur, okay? Okay, good. Okay, good. Now I feel the energy and I'm glad that we all are on the same page. Okay, so before we get into brainstorming, if you have any questions, please let me know. We'll try to sort out. Or we can directly jump into. In the presentation, I saw that in Singapore, B2B content marketing needs to be avoided since they, yes. How to identify countries' general preferences? Is there any way for that? So, Swadik, very honestly speaking, I'm not sure what kind of research was being referred to when that statement was made. But see, there are n number of ways of doing it. One, that you actually find a good research, which, let's say there is a research done on content distribution in Singapore. And maybe in that research, there is a graph which says that, okay, people in Singapore, there is humor, there is serious content, there is informative content, and so on and so forth. And in the humor section, the percentage would have been less. So research can be, one definite way of doing it, or something that people don't do very much, is talking to people. Simply talking to people can be another way. I'm about to launch a workshop, for entrepreneurs, and what I have been doing is that I've been simply calling all my entrepreneur friends to just take a feedback from them. So this conclusion would have been, uh, drawn because of that. Or thirdly, you simply test and optimize. Maybe the campaign was executed, and the the research was, the learnings were calculated and optimized, and based on that, this particular conclusion was made. So these could have been a couple of ways of doing it, Swati. All right. Give me one sec, guys. Just give me one sec. Sorry. Okay. Uh, so I think which I'm not very sure of the context of the second question. Uh, can you point me to the slide? Okay. Till that time, I'll answer Gaurav's question. Uh, the LinkedIn PPT a little bigger, mostly. Uh, Gaurav, it could be a white paper. So yeah, that's text based. It could be an ebook. It could be a big PPT also, but not a lot of brands I've seen do it. So the earlier there used to be this marketing strategy of having like a, 100 slide PPT and upload it on SlideShare. That could also work, but again, it is also a text based format. As far as audio and video, that's a good point actually. The audio and the video. Okay, so a keynote speaker, let's say if you are giving a keynote, if you guys have been following Gary Vaynerchuk, he has this uh, YouTube channel. Or let's say when there are people who are interviewed, the interviews are usually very very long, right? Let's say the interview went on for 1.5 hours. Or that's a big rock content. Now you pick up, let's say, in that particular 1.5 hour interview, for 5 minutes that person spoke about setting goals, for example. Okay, this is a video that I recently saw, that's why I'm giving the example. Let's say setting goals. Now you can simply create a video which, like, cut the video which says that how to create goals, learn from this person, and only post that 5-minute video. So big rock can also be done video wise. Audio wise, podcasting wise, I'm not sure if big rock technique can be leveraged. I hope this answers your question, Gaurav. Right. So It's kind of when companies yes, yes, okay. So I'm I'm not entirely sure. Maybe I'm not getting it right, but the connection between ROI, business ROI, and RFP. Gaurav. Okay, I'll answer your second question first. But do B2B companies utilize video in general? Oh, yes, absolutely. See, okay. Uh, the difference between B2B and B2C is that in B2C, the customer is spending his or her own money. In B2B, in many cases, you are not spending your own money, you are spending the money of the organization. And that's a different act altogether. Okay? When a person initiates the decision of buying a B2B product, there are, let's say if there is a project manager who is doing it. Okay, let's say there is a tool which is for HRs only. Okay, only for the human resource department. And let's say they you can identify, we don't really have to reach the HR head for that. We can just identify the problems that human resource like the HRs face and make a video on that and distribute it so that it reaches out to them. Now what happens is that HRs or any people for that matter love talking about things which are cool. No one likes to talk about boring things, but if it is something which is remarkable, people talk about it. And hence there are a lot of chances that the HR head will go to the HRs will go to the HR head in order to buy the product which was showcased in the video. So it can definitely work. Okay, another example that I recently came across was also brilliant. So there was a hospital where there are these cribs for babies, and those cribs were not as per the government standards. There was like a space between the cribs, so it was not safe for the baby to be in that crib. But the hospitals weren't bothered. Okay, what the brand did was that they did not go to the board members of the hospital because they do not care about the cribs. They did not even go to the doctors because even the doctors do not care about the cribs, but they went to the nurses because nurses actually go through the whole cycle of putting the baby in the crib and so on and so forth. And when they spoke to the nurses, they realized that one of the things that the nurses really hated doing was the fact that when they removed the baby from the crib, they had to kind of remove all the what is it called, all the wires is the wrong word, the saline bottle and all those gadgets attached to the baby, which they hated doing. But this new crib solved that problem, and when it solved the problem, the nurses spoke to each other. The nurses also spoke to the nurses of the other hospital because it was remarkable. All right, and then the word spread, and then it went to the higher authorities, and then they opened up to the idea of this new crib. The point that I'm trying to make is that it doesn't matter if it's a video. So even though I went away from the scope of the question, I wanted to point out to the fact that even if it doesn't matter if it's a video or a ebook or it's a podcast. What matters is how good is it. And in the B2B scenario, you can always reach out to the people who are using it and not necessarily to someone who is at the higher authority. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Okay, any more questions? Okay, thank you. Or should we jump into the brainstorming? Okay, I'll give you 2 seconds till I prepare the sheet. Okay. What is this RFP? RFP. Kind of modified the PPT. Hold on. Acha, one second. Okay. Okay. Business ROIs, okay, it shows RFPs and revenue. Uh, so which see, okay, what was the question about this? How does it impact? Is what the question was? Huh. Okay, so okay, one second. It was asked by Swadik and answered by Gaurav only. Okay, so yes, I does it make sense now, Swadik? So basically, people request you for a proposal. That's what happens because of the reach that you have got through this particular campaign. It's more of inbound, right? Inbound as in there are two ways of selling, right? You go to people or people come to you. So this one is the later. Okay. So let me go to the business idea now. We'll take a B2C idea first. Okay, our favorite yoga example and dig deeper into it. And then we will go to the B2B idea as well. Okay. Okay, there's a question by Tushar. After coming up with this 6 month strategy, in the step one and step two in the LMS section of content marketing course, where would we be required to submit the answers to the instructions? No, Tushar. So I believe you have to upload a file there on the LMS. Am I right, guys? I think you have to upload the file on the LMS by submitting the answers. Really? Okay, let me get back to you on this. One sec, I'll just make a note of this. I will send a mail and get back to you on this. Okay. Cool. All right. The fun part about brainstorming is that even I don't know what the hell we are doing. It's always it's always on the run that we do. We do it in real time. Okay, so let's see if this format works out. We can always change the format. The first case study is of a B2C brand, like I said, a yoga teacher who has recently launched her studio in Koregaon Park, Pune, and she provides one-to-one coaching and also she conducts yoga batches. Okay, yoga batches is the first objective, and one-to-one coaching is kind of the second objective. All right, so in the first class, we kind of looked at the whole social media strategy. In this class, however, we will be looking at the whole content marketing strategy because that is the agenda for today. Okay, let's do one thing though, however. This might be a repeat for few people, but still, okay. Uh, no, in the last class, I mean, Rahul, I am just referring to that one class. This is going to be repeat for a few students, which is fine though. At least the first 5 minutes is what I meant. So nothing too serious. Okay, I meant the last class between me and a few students. Yes, right. Okay. Now, uh, before we begin, before we begin content marketing, let's just let's just touch the basics of digital marketing. You might not have covered all the modules yet, which is fine. For now, let's just explore the different areas, the different aspects, the different avenues of digital marketing. So now that she has to launch her business, where do you think does she need to start? What is the one basic thing that she absolutely needs to do or needs to have in order to kickstart her digital marketing activities? Yes, so she needs to have a website. Okay, so I'm jumping into the execution now, Gaurav. Uh, so yes, okay, so website is done. I'll just give this some color. Then you have content. So just to get on the same page, what are the different ways of content? What are the different ways of creating content? What are the different formats of content? Okay, videos, then blogs, images, then the videos, webinars I'll put in videos only. Testimonials in what format? I think testimonial is also a video or an image, right? Or a text. Infographics, very good. So infographics can be one. I think the reviews also I think will be text only. So maybe I can write text as a format as well. Okay. No, we are just there could be infographics in yoga. Yes. Yoga e-magazines is a little okay. Chalo. I'll just call it ebooks if that's okay. Podcasting, yes. Podcast industry expert insights in what form? Ebooks done. Newsletter. Okay, so very good. Emailers and newsletters. Then we are done, right? These three are the main. Okay, always remember blogs, podcasts, and videos are the three main ones. And then if you talk about the big rock, you can always have this ebooks or let's call them white papers. Yes, primarily there are these three, and this is what we want to look into. But okay, so website is done, content is done. What are the other things that were remaining? I think someone had given the answer already. I think it was Rahul. What are the other aspects of digital marketing? Okay, social media. So SMM, in which what all do we have in SMM by the way? What all different websites do we have? Yes, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have no email marketing is different. We have Pinterest, we have Snapchat, we have YouTube maybe. You can add Quora if you want. You have LinkedIn. We forgot LinkedIn. Yes, right. Okay. So then you have the SMM part. Then someone spoke about email marketing. So what is email marketing? Email marketing is basically, I mean, you guys have an idea about email marketing, right? It's about keeping in touch with people through email IDs. That's all there is. Okay, so this is again email marketing. Okay, then you can have, I think someone already gave the answer to this. What is the full form of SEM? It's basically search engine marketing. What are the two types or two main topics in search engine marketing or Google AdWords? Yes, it's search and display, right? It's search and display. And then probably the last one is what? SEO. Okay, all the other answers, which we have not given, you will see that they fit, in either of these, like at least one of these umbrellas. Okay, you might have different names. So some people call content marketing as inbound marketing, which is fine. Okay, that's not the point. The point is that these are the 4 or 5 things which cover 90% of the things in digital marketing. Okay, so I just wanted to establish this base before we move ahead. Is everyone clear with the base? Can we go ahead? If yes, type in what? Type in anything. Okay, type in Hajur. Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna move ahead now. Okay. Suryakant is funny. All right. Let's just try to identify the personas. Okay, who all will go for a yoga class? Let's identify a persona. And when I say persona, it has got to be a little detailed. Yes, this is what exactly what we do not want, Rahul. We want to get a little deeper into it. So maybe one. Okay, I'll write one answer for you. A fitness freak who uh, who is an IT professional. He misses. So some people are extremely. I mean, people like me are extremely lazy, but there are a few people who are extremely passionate about working out. About exercising daily. Uh, but so we are going to consider him as someone who is like that person who misses exercising. Okay, so he believes in a healthy lifestyle, yes, but has been missing workouts and wants to start this yoga class, and also is stressed. Okay, very good. He has been missing workouts, he is stressed and wants to start his yoga class in order to reconnect with his fitness. Okay, so guys, I will make different people for different personas for all the things that you have mentioned. Okay, so one is a stressed out IT professional who is a fitness freak. Let's say there is someone who is worried about obesity. Someone spoke about, yeah, I think it is Dharam who spoke about shape, right? So obesity. Let's say there is someone. Let's call him. Let's call him Rahul. Rahul is has always had weight issues, but with his current desk job, his weight has now gone through the roof. He might be a prospect. Sorry, Rahul. You can just put in Pranav here if you want. Okay, let's call him Pranav. He might be a prospect for this class. Okay, cool. Now, who else? Hectic schedule to ho gaya, Ameya. Who else? Yeah, yeah. Retired person also. Okay, let's say there is someone who is a retired professional. Very nice. Who wants to make time for his health now? Yes, housewives could be one. Okay, now I'm not going very detailed. Corporate females. Let's call them corporate females. I hope that's not offensive. Corporate females. Female 40 has been off. Okay, cool. So post pregnancy females. Can I call them that? You get the point, right? Post people who females who are in the post pregnancy phase. Okay. Then who else wants to learn yoga? Okay, yeah, very good. So someone who is genuinely curious and spiritual, and wants to learn yoga to attain a deeper sense of contentment. Okay, body toning and flexibility also could be there. Okay, so now when you do this exercise, guys, I want you all to be as detailed as the first two. Okay, so you give a name to that person, you you give some kind of a profession to that person, maybe some kind of demographics, and then you kind of jump into their issues. All right. So yes. Okay. Now, okay. So let's say yoga for ailments, right? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 sec. Something is wrong only. 1 second. Sorry. Okay. This we will change as fears, hopes, dreams. Basically, deploying empathy. Do you guys know what empathy means? Putting yourself into their shoes and figuring out what they are going through. Because if we do not know what they are going through, how can we help them? Okay, if someone is stressed and you are talking about how yoga can help you in weight loss, it doesn't make sense. And if someone is overweight and you say that yoga will give you peace of mind, maybe that person will not be interested. So you need to figure out what the pain point is and accordingly make content, right? So what about this guy? So what is his fear? We already spoken about this fear, right? So fears that, I mean, he's unhappy with the fact that he doesn't work out as often as he used to. What else is he unhappy about? He doesn't have a no work life balance. Yes. Okay. What else is he unhappy? Or what is his dream? His dream is to, he dreams of becoming, I mean, he dreams of being fit even when he's 40. Yeah, he wants to trek when he's 40. He wants to, and so on. Okay. Also wants to be more productive at work. Okay. Start his own yoga class. Okay. Everything you are giving into one person only. So, but chalo, I'll also add this. Might start his own yoga class. Okay. Now, how is it different from what Pranav is going through? This guy. How is it different from what Pranav is going through? Can you tell me a little bit about Pranav? Hmm? Okay. Okay. So Pranav wants to lose weight. Uh, he's unhappy that his clothes don't fit him anymore. Pranav. Okay, very good. So Pranav is just looking for basic fitness, or rather, to lose weight. He isn't interested in doing anything. Okay, very good. Gaurav, excellent point. Pranav has confidence issues, body image issues. Okay, I should have named him something else, not Pranav. Uh, he's lethargic. Yeah. uh, he's worried, and so on. Okay, so if you see, there is a difference between the unhappiness level of the this guy and this guy. Okay, because this guy, even though he's unhappy, he's not crushed. Okay, this guy is a little, he's really going through some issue. What about the third one? Let's also do this. What about the third one? What is he going through? A retired professional. Okay, he has time now. He has body pain, maybe age issue. Okay, wants to be fit. Yeah, so body pain, muscle pain. Yeah, all kinds of pain. Okay, in one only. Not much activity in life. Has dietary restrictions, very good. Lazy, that's a little unfair, no? He's connected with people, okay. Alright. Uh, we can stop here. Okay, so now see. You guys realizing why we did this exercise? Okay, we'll add Gaurav's input because it's so long. Wants to maintain health, do something positive in with time that he has. Okay, laughing classes in morning yoga. Okay, yeah. So that is more of the actual yoga class input. Not able to do daily chores. That is thoda. Not sure if I agree with it, Rahul. He's not that old. He's just retired. Okay, dreaming of being young. Okay, chalo. So now see, are you guys realizing why we did this? Because the strategy to reach out to this person is totally different from the strategy to reach out to this person and this person. So for example, let's just test me only. Okay, random example. Let's say what kind of blog I will write for this person. So I'll go through that. Okay, okay. So for example, do not procrastinate your the steps. What is the right English? Do not delay the steps of getting into a healthy life because of the lack of bandwidth due to work. Forgive my English, but I hope you get the point. Lack of time due to work. This can be a post copy. Can you guys see it? Okay, or it could be, yes, very good. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Okay, it could be that as well. So I'll just copy paste this. Very good. This could be a copy, or what else could it be? Ever dream of being fit at 40? Now is the time to start investing in that vision. Okay, this is, do not take this copy literally, but I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. For this, however, it will change. How will it change? Let's say, have you tried hundreds of methods to lose weight, and do you know why they haven't succeeded? It's because yoga is more sustainable and so on and so forth. Okay, or how yoga helps a person deal with body image issues and so on. That's what Pranav will be shown, and a retired professional will be shown something different altogether. And hence, we need to figure out what the persona is, what they are going through. This is even like a very small exercise that we did. We have to go even deeper than this. Okay, yes, change your body, change your life will be for Pranav, right? So yes, stop watching those stupid TV commercials could be also for Pranav. So these are the actual copies that I'm writing. Stop watching those. Stop watching TV. Come to yoga. So that's why we did this. Uh, what can I say? We did this exercise of finding personas. Okay. I just need a lot of you are contributing, so which makes me feel good that you all are with me. But I'm a needy person. I need a validation sometimes. So if you are with me, if you're having fun, just type in. Oh, la, la, la. If you're with me and having fun, yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. There is a nice answer in between all this nonsense. Want to lose weight while enjoying cake? Yes, Ashutosh. That's correct. Want to lose weight while having cake can be a good input for Pranav. So that is why we are doing all this hard work, because see, even if you see your own newsfeed on social media, on Facebook, you will only connect to content which adds value to you. You will not connect with any random content. You will connect with something which feels so true to you. All right. Yes. It was a funny joke, Ashutosh. It wasn't bad. Okay. So now I'll just remove this because this is not a point of this content thing. So now let's think of what topics can we write about. Okay. So one answer Santosh has already given. Let's say ways of reducing weight can be a content theme for Pranav. Like this, suggest me content themes for all these three people now. Pranav, the retired professional, let's call him, what do I call him? Let's call him Bob. Okay, and let's call this guy Jack. Okay, so diet chart for Pranav, maybe. Okay. Then stress release for Jack. Okay. Testimonials of his age group. Suryakant, for which person? Or anyone you're saying? It's not too late to start for retired uncle. Okay. Not too late to start. So, can you give it a nice blog topic or a podcast topic or a video topic? Wait. How can one take charge of one's fitness routine at the age of 60? That's funny. Uh, so I hope that covers your point in this. It inspire them if we have testimonials. So testimonials, you're right, Suryakant. It will be for all the three, and it will be only. I mean, for Pranav, it would be great if there's a testimonial about someone who has lost weight. You know what I mean? So yes, absolutely. Jack, mindfulness, yes. So yoga and mindfulness. Okay, so yoga and mindfulness could be a good theme for this. Okay. Whether you are 20 or 40, yoga works for all ages. Jack or Bob. Okay. Not sure how do I write that in words, but let's say I'll write it for Jack. Yoga is not for only for someone who is old. Old is such a bad word. Okay, I'll write it old. Don't be offended, any of you. Get ready for second, third marriage at 40. Okay, you guys are very creative when it comes to copy. Guys, do not suggest ad copies. Imagine you're writing a blog for these three. What will be the topic of that blog? Or imagine you're making a video, let's say a 5-minute video or a 30-minute video. On what topic will you talk about? 15 minutes yoga to get fit for Jack. Okay, very good. So let's say yoga, 15-minute home yoga workout. Is that what you mean? Okay, that could be good. 5 ways in which yoga helps you become a fitness model. Tushar, this is for Pranav, is it? Who is it for? How to overcome the shame of not getting fit in the bus seats. Arey yaar, no, who will read that? कितना overwhelming it is. See, okay, so one tip on, I know this was more of on the light side, but one tip is that you have to strike a balance between being not being too personal or too sensitive, because people would not, maybe I'm wrong here, but maybe people wouldn't want to read something which is as sensitive as this. Okay, so how to overcome the shame of not getting fit is good, but bus and all I won't write. Yes, aspirational, not judgment. 5 habits of successful people is for whom? Report half an hour. Half an hour walk for uncle to be fit, but how is that a block topic? Not sure, Rajiv. Make your body aligned by keeping your body in the right posture. Okay, this is for which person? Not getting much time from work? I think Amaya, you meant for Jack. Okay, so how to? Okay, so how about 5 yoga poses that you can do in office? Okay, 5 ways of getting slim at home. Uh, okay, very good. Okay, so maybe yoga. How yoga helps your posture for Uncle Bob or Uncle Sam, as some of you are calling him. Okay, chalo. This is fine for now. This is again, I believe, for Bob, Uncle Bob. So I'll copy Gaurav's and now we'll stop here as far as this is concerned. Okay. Now, okay. Now, what can be? So, if you see these two columns, that's a fair point, Ashutosh. Okay, guys. Now just be with me. These two columns are interrelated because these were the probable things, the probable content themes that we could think of. This is more of rapid brainstorming that we are doing. So it's anyway not going to be organized, which is fine because organization takes place afterwards. Now, based on this, what can be the big rock content themes according to you? Which can then, so in LinkedIn case, it was an ebook or a manual for content marketing. Okay, in case of this thing, what can be a big rock content theme? Okay, so I'll explain what big rock is in just a minute. See, there are n number of ways to create content. All right. Tomorrow, if you write an inspiring quote about yoga, that is also a content, but that is not a big rock content. What is a big rock content? A big rock content is like a mega piece of content that you publish, which then can also be transcribed or let's say transposed into smaller bits of content. So what LinkedIn did was that they wanted to reach out to entrepreneurs and small business owners. So what did they do? They they created a manual for content marketing in India. And now that what were they calling it? I don't think it was called a manual. It was more of a guide, content marketing guide. All right, and now that guide was obviously like a big research paper. So like an almost like an ebook. You can think of it. So now it's a because it's big. It's a big raw content theme, and then they can break it down into social media posts. Let's say, or you take out one tip from it and you put it in your email marketing, in your email, and that becomes your email marketing. Or you take something and you make a small video or a small podcast out of it, that becomes your podcast. So a big rock content theme can be broken down into smaller parts. Okay, does that answer your questions about big rock? One example that that was given in the lecture was that in the US there is Thanksgiving, right? So when they buy the turkey, they don't finish the turkey immediately. They keep on slicing the turkey and then in a few days they finish it. Similarly, we can do it for big rock content things. Okay. Uh, but what? Give me an example of a big rock content in this case. And let me tell you that it is very much related to content themes only. We are not doing anything different from content themes. These are themes that we can play around with. Can we play around with this and create a big rock content theme? Okay, very good. So, a big ebook on maintaining a work-life balance. That is good. Good. Okay, that is for Jack. Then, white paper research on. Uh, okay. So, I can't help but feel, Adnan, that I mean, it is definitely possible to create this. I'm not sure how motivated Jack will be to read it, even though he's stressed. He's not really interested about the research in stress. So first one is very attractive. Second, I'm not sure, but anyway, I'll write it for now. Jack, an ebook analysis on how yoga is helping IT professionals become more creative and stress. Very good. Not sure how if it can be an ebook, Gaurav, because I don't know if there will be that much of content, but we are not analyzing right now, so I'll put it here. Then, guide regarding yoga and nutrition. Okay, so a comprehensive diet plan, a comprehensive, let's say, 30-day or a 15-day diet plan can be an ebook. Video will be more helpful than ebook. Could work. Big rock 3 400. What is it? Yes, I agree, Tushar. For any specific, or you are suggesting in general? Maybe I think this has got more to do for, I don't know, Jack maybe. Okay, in general, but I'll write it in Jack, or I'll write it in Uncle Bob. Okay, so a series of interviews with famous yoga teachers. Okay, so now in this case, guys, big rock is not the traditional big rock. It's not one rock, but it's smaller rocks. Okay, which we can break down into even smaller pieces. For Bob, it could be videos of retired uncles getting fit practicing yoga. So Kirtana, is that a big rock content? Is that a content which we can break down into smaller pieces? Why not videos of celebrity? Is that a big rock content, Suryakant? That's the main question. I'll give you a couple of more minutes to think. Okay, this is nice. Let's say, how about 15 inspiring, very nice, huh? 15 inspiring stories of people who lost their weight because of yoga. Alright, so these can be a few big rock content. Okay, and then what can be the distribution channels? Let's talk about the distribution channels. Now, this I will start writing. So, as far as so now we go here. What all will be covered in this? Okay, Gaurav, I'll answer the question in just a minute. Okay, so out of all these concepts, what all is covered? So for Jack, so website obviously can be a host to all the content. Jack is actively searching for a yoga class, which means that I can always go for Google search and Google display maybe. I can always go to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram maybe, email. Not in this phase. Email is probably for someone who has already subscribed. So I don't see Jack who has subscribed. Blog could be one. Yes. Okay. So we won't, to deep dive too much into this, because as you can see, it is extremely situational based. Okay, but the point is that these are the different ways in these are different areas, or these are the different channels where they can be published. This content themes can be published. So in fact, we can actually combine this, because it will be different for different people though. For example, Uncle Bob might not be on Instagram, so I'll reach out to him on email. Maybe he's someone who checks the email. Getting it? In that aspect, the distribution channels change. So okay, one second. I'll just give this some kind of a decoration. Yes, yes. Demographics will be taken into consideration. Guest blogging can be done, Amay, yes. All right, cool. Uh, yes, okay. Now, I'll answer Gaurav's question. Why Big Rock strategy is preferred in the first place? Is it to maximize resource allocation on creating the content? Gaurav, it's not a yes or no answer. So, you could absolutely go with a strategy which does not focus on producing Big Rock content. Maybe you can only have a strategy which focuses on smaller things. Like I said, it's an art, it's not science. Content marketing, I believe, is an art. So whatever works for you works for you. uh, the general feel that I have, again, I could be horribly wrong here, but the general feel that I have is, especially for B2B brands, they prefer having these guides and these ebooks. Okay, but you could definitely say that screw big rock content. I'll only go with smaller pieces of content. That is also absolutely fine. There is no right or wrong here. I personally have never created for my own brand. I have never created a big rock content. I've always focused on creating smaller pieces of content. Yeah, and see, once you create one, that's a good point actually. Once you create a big rock, you have like so many. You have anyway created so many smaller bits and pieces of content. Yeah, so you are doing all the work in one go. That's the only difference. I hope this answers your question. Okay, before we move down now, and do you guys also remember? Okay, so I'll give this a table outline. Okay, and now, sorry. Chalo, anyway, this I missed out on. Okay. Now we also looked at other examples like, so this was more, so Big Rock is more of a turkey content. What is Raisin Bran content? What is spinach content? So these are, just another ways of creating content. So this you might find interesting, Gaurav. So what is Raisin? The Raisin means like a small piece of content. What can be a small piece of content? So an ebook, let's say this ebook, which was that ebook that we spoke about. Let's say a series of interviews with no, let's say an ebook on maintaining work-life balance. Okay. Now a raisin brand content on that would be a 15-day theme. So for 15 days we produce this update on the page on. So for 15 days, one tip a day of maintaining work-life balance. Getting it now? So now what we have done is that we have kind of broken the big rock into smaller pieces and made it into a raisin content. Raisin means small. Okay, so daily testimonials could also be like a, yes, daily tips, infographics, uh infographics, I would call more as spinach content. I'll explain what spinach content is. Okay, the raisin brand is something which is extremely light and easier to consume. Small blog posts could also be that, yes. What is spinach content? And spinach content, is more of content which, you can say is difficult to chew, so sometimes a brand creates, let's say, a long interview, or let's say it can be, um, let's say, a long essay, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so you can think infographics is also, if you take a lot of time to process it, you can't process the infographics in 5 seconds. You spend some time reading it. So infographics is one, one way of doing it. Let's say interviews and white papers could be spinach content. Okay. What is chocolate cake content? Chocolate cake means, content which kind of releases dopamine, you can say, which is maybe, let's say, a little quirky or sweet. Yes, like humorous, memes, GIFs, and so on. Okay, like something which is a little, yeah, appealing, funny. Okay, and this last content. So this, do you guys know this word? Okay, it basically means, in a way, you can say controversial content. Because or when you take a stand. I wouldn't say controversial, but when you take a stand about something. Okay, so maybe thought leadership could be one, or maybe you can call it hard hitting content, etc. Viral worthy content. Yeah, so Gaurav, but I think that holds true for everyone, everything. Oh, but okay, I know what you mean. Okay, viral worthy content, etc. Okay, so guys, these are not standard words. Okay, do not go into an interview and say things like raisin bran and spinach. This is for just to understand. You can actually do away with all these keywords. The point is that please understand the bigger point. The bigger point is that there are n number of ways in which you can create content. You can create a big rock content, and then you can create a smaller pieces of content like this, or you can simply focus on smaller pieces of content. You can have n number of things, and then maybe you can have a calendar that, okay, Monday people are usually very tired, sorry, they are very stressed out, so I will focus on chocolate cake content on Mondays, and on Thursday afternoons people are anyway bored, I'll maybe give them Tabasco content, or maybe I will give them raisin spinach content on Sunday, maybe whatever it is. Okay, so this is how you create a calendar. Okay, Sunday this, Monday this, Tuesday this, and so on and so forth. Okay, now what is the next part? Okay, it's 9:27 already. Let's see how much we can cover. So similarly, we can create a content calendar. So let's take one example. Let's say we are targeting Jack. Okay, so Jack, we already defined who Jack is. What are you saying? We are saying, let's talk about one. Let's take one example from here only. Ebook on maintaining work-life balance. Let's say. Okay. So, and let's say we are making a post on that. Let's say we're making a Facebook post about that. So, a tip on maintaining work life balance is what we are saying. Why does the audience care? The audience definitely cares because they are suffering and facing the same issue. Okay, and how will you measure success? Maybe through engagement in this case. Okay, because it's a Facebook post. Let's say you make one more post and you also obviously have a date. Okay, in the calendar I have not included the date, this thing, but you obviously have a date. Let's say you make one for Pranav, which is what? Let's say 5 ways of getting fit at home, a blog on trying to reduce obesity, and hence he cares. How will you measure success? Traffic on the blog. Call to action is click now. Here there is no call to action, it's more of engagement. Okay, like this we can create a content calendar. Okay, so good question, Suryakant. So see, now we have to figure out which content is gated content. What is gated content? It means that, let's say, now there can be multiple strategies for doing this. In the above example, there are n number of ways of doing it. Okay, so yes, absolutely. In this case, let's say Pranav goes, clicks on that blog and goes to the website, clicks on the Facebook post and goes to the website, checks out the blog, reads the blog, and as he's reading the blog, he's liking the blog, and a pop-up appears there saying that will you like us to send such blogs to you on a weekly basis? And Pranav enters his email ID and name, of course. And now that is a lead generated, or more of an email subscription, you can say. And then you can keep in touch with that person through email. Now this is a part of sales, right? So now you wouldn't say a lead is generated, but more of an interest is generated, and now maybe you can start an email conversation with that person, which then becomes a conversion. Okay, that is one way of doing it. What could be the other way of doing it? The other way of doing it was simple. Where was this? So you have already written a ebook on 15 inspiring stories of people who have lost their weight because of yoga. You offer that ebook for free. It's a rock content. You offer that ebook for free, but of course it's never free. Yes, so that's where I was getting caught up. You give the ebook for free in exchange for the email ID. And then how do you, let's say you want to generate 10 registrations. Okay, so for example, now let's come to this. Okay, so let's say you need 10 people to sign up for your class, which means how many qualified leads you need. Sorry. Let's see, let's say, oh, sorry. Okay. So let's say I need 100 qualified leads because out of 10 person who is considering the yoga class, let's say one person converts. So let's say 100 qualified leads. I'll explain that, Kirtana, one sec. There's always a ratio, right? Not everyone who's interested will buy. And in order to get 100 qualified leads, let's say I need to have a 500 downloads of that ebook. And in order to get a 500 download, maybe I need the reach to be 10,000. And now you can figure out that, okay, if I want the reach to be 10,000, how much do I need to invest? Okay, I wouldn't call it bait simply because we're genuinely adding value. Uh, we are not fooling them like some brands do, right? They ask you to click on something, but they give something else. That leads to the loss of trust. All right. So does that answer your question? Who asked about Suryakant? And Kirtana, gated content means, see, gate as in sometimes content is given to you. So okay, I'll show you. I was not recently, a few months back, I was invited to speak at a conference, at a digital marketing conference, and I decided to just give a, this is my own personal website. I decided to write an ebook on that. Now, in that ebook, this is the ebook. You guys should read it. I think it's nice. It's a free ebook on silence the missing element in marketing. But if you read here, no form submission required. Just download and enjoy. Why? Because I just thought of giving it freely. I did not really care how much email IDs I'm generating. So when a person clicks on download, a PDF opens. That's it. There is no need to enter email ID, and hence this is not a gated content. But when people ask for email IDs, that becomes a gated content. Does that answer your question, Kirtana? Okay, cool. So as you can see, this is good work, right, guys? This is good work in just a few minutes. So I hope you guys feel proud of yourselves. Uh, okay, I'll just maybe They do Suryakant, and it's a struggle. But I think a part of our job is to one convince the client that, dude, it's a long game. Okay, so this is a battle that all of us face. Okay. Secondly, also have to map it out. So even if they ask for lead generation, you can always go and say that, as per my estimates, in order to get 10 leads, we need to have something which we give for free, and so we need 100 downloads and we need 10,000 reach and so on and so forth. So you can always lead the way to, I mean, you can always join the dots, connect the dots between content marketing and lead generation. Oh, the job prospect is it's crazy. Is it something that is of interest for you? I mean, if you are passionate about content, you are in luck, because see, you might not have a content marketer job as such. Your designation might be different, but a lot of scope if done intelligently, right? Suryakan, did I answer your question? Okay. Uh, what do you want to type in? Type in Suryakant if you are with me, and if we can move ahead. Just want to know if you guys are understanding, and if you are with me, and if you're having as much as fun as I am having. Okay. Some people didn't type your name as Suryakant. You can ask them for an explanation later. Okay. Do you guys want to do one more case study? We'll do a short version of this. One more. Let's take a B2B example. Okay. Let's take a digital marketing agency which only caters to startups. Okay. Only caters to startups, and the target market is India. We won't get into the depths now. What are the personas? Who are we targeting here? No, we are targeting startups and small business owners. Okay. Okay, so entrepreneurs, then recently formed startups. So you can call, what do you call people who have just started with small startups or whatever? Bootstrap startups. Okay, thank you. With bootstrapped startups. Then is it only the entrepreneurs? I mean, who else are we reaching out to? Who's the persona? Okay, CMOs. Will they have CMOs? Not sure, but chalo. There could be a marketing head, if not CMOs or marketing heads. Vendors of startup. Okay, not sure. How will it work though? Owners. I think entrepreneurs is owners only. No, startup directors. No, no. Who are we reaching out to? Let's say it's a company of 50 people. Okay, even that is our target market. Who all are we reaching out to? So marketing head is one. Let's just say social media head, or no, let's call digital marketing head. Okay, marketing head, digital marketing head. Then proprietors, I think, also goes in entrepreneurs, right? Freelancer, but how are they with the company if they're a freelancer? But who will you target, Santosh? So, okay, like these three are fine. These three are fine for now. Okay, so what are the? Let's talk about. No, there is only one digital marketing head, Adnan. There is one person, right, who coordinates with you. So that person is the digital marketing head. They don't have a team as such. Only head, nobody. Okay, so concerns: how to get funding. Very good. How to get funding. Money, saving money. These are some really nice inputs. And getting more sales, getting more business. Okay, why are these inputs important? Because if you are going to create content, you have to assure that person that, dude, you do not have to waste a lot of money if you do social media, for example. Okay, how to get organic leads. Okay, growth hacking. Okay, you don't even you can also go a little beyond this. Okay, so maybe maintaining status in the society, concerned about hiring the right employees, new startup, how to reach out to relevant customers. Guys, I might miss a couple of inputs. Okay, don't mind. Transparency, does really? Okay, he's interested in brand building. How to maintain? No, what are his fears and hopes and dreams is what we are kind of looking at. This is my baby. So what are the thoughts that go in his mind? This is my baby. This is what people know me for. Corporate culture, not what you mean. So sales is done, brand reach is done, guys. Corporate culture, I mean office and surrounding. Okay, so is concerned about office and surrounding and basically brand image. Yes. Okay, so enough. Now, what can be the content themes for this? Okay, let's move fast now, guys. What can be the content themes for this? And you can give either answers: content themes or big rock content themes. Either of the answers are fine. Okay, very good. Low budget online marketing tactics. I thought of a very interesting topic: how being good at digital marketing can help you seek investment. Nice, no? USPs of your product and services. So, Tushar, what will we write about? If we are a digital marketing agency and we want to reach out to these entrepreneurs, what will we write about? VC funding e-guide ebook. Does it fall under marketing, Gaurav? Can we connect with marketing somehow? How digital marketing helps? Okay, how DM helps in getting more sales. Unique identity among competitors, or how DM helps you to stand out from competition. How to reach right audience through marketing, etc. Okay, so enough. Okay, I mean, I'm glad that you guys are giving so many inputs. But we have to move on. But you got the point, right? Okay, so how to justify ROI? I'm not writing everything. Okay, so yes, you have understood their hopes and their dreams, and now you're making contents. You can again have big content, big rock content teams. You can have. We don't need to discuss this right now. Yeah, we know what content teams are and how you can transpose them into big rock content teams. Channels could be Facebook, could be LinkedIn for sure. Email marketing definitely. Okay, search also, yes, if you're actively looking for it. Webinars, very good. Webinars could be a great way because these entrepreneurs always want to learn. Okay, and yes, we'll do all the stages from attract to delight. Startup forums, okay, yes. And then what will be the smaller pieces of content? Let's say you can have jokes if you want, okay, or you can have interviews with entrepreneurs as a spinach content. Okay, reason brand content would be, let's say, a time management tip that you give, and so on. Okay, then who are you targeting? Let's say the owner or the what are you saying? DM will help you get the right clients. Why does your audience care? Actively seeking new clients to grow business, already feeling the heat of taking care of the salaries of all the employees. How will you measure success? So if it's a video views, what's the call to action? Obviously, watch the video. So yeah, there can be n number of things, guys. I'm just kind of wrapping it up. But all of these answers are the right answers. There is nothing wrong with any of these answers. And then by the same logic, you kind of measure the success as well. But if I want to have 5 more clients, I need to reach out to these many leads, and yeah, if I want 5 conversions, I need these many leads, and I need to reach out to these many people. Okay, so now in a way we have done 2 case studies, which I hope you have found useful. Okay, now I take question answers, but before that, uh, there is this feedback which is extremely important to me. So please fill in the feedback. Okay, it's a very important feedback for me. And after filling the feedback, please let me know if you have any questions or any comment. And if you want to leave, if you haven't had your dinner and if you're getting very hungry, you can leave. I will share the Excel sheet through email, so don't worry about that. And I hope you had fun. I hope you all learned a couple of things. Thank you, Amay. And do stay connected with LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or good whatever. Thank you, Gaurav. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Adnan. Thank you, Anil. Thank you, Gaurav. Again. Thank you, Rahul. Sorry for calling you Obese. I will. I will. Thank you. Thank you, Suryakant. Take care. Yes, the session was recorded. So you will have a link. I will share the Excel sheet and I also share the link. I am I'm not allowed to share my contact details. Akshit, if you have any questions, you can ask me on the LMS, or you can also connect anytime with me on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. I do not like saying no, but I hope you understand. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you, JJ. Okay, cool. So today's session was only on content marketing. For other sessions, you might need to get in touch with the course coordinator. But as far as content is done, this is done. So I think try refreshing. It's working for me. I just checked. Just try once again. Okay, one second. This is my LinkedIn link on Facebook. It's just facebook.com/pranavkale120. Guys, a reminder about the feedback. If you have not filled it, I'm gonna uh, ping you the feedback link again. Thank you, Swati. That's very kind of you. It's very motivating for me. Sir, how do you determine the number of leads based on the number of conversions required? Adnan's a good question. Unfortunately, it comes only from experience. Okay, it comes from experience. It might come from your superiors. Okay, if they are there to guide you, they will give you a certain estimate. But doing it for the first time, it's obviously very scary. I remember doing my first campaign for Towards Fulfillment. I was on the verge of a breakdown because no one was converting. That's a little difficult, but I think what helps is going through different resources, talking to people, talking to seniors, etc. Because then they give you a certain number which you can consider as a benchmark. And if nothing, there is absolutely no source, then you do it yourself and see how it is working, and then keep on optimizing that and reducing that number. It is absolutely subjective. That's the thing. See, if it was like a mathematical equation, if everyone had the answer, everyone would succeed. So it depends on. I mean, it's so tempting to get the right answer, no? That the percentage is 2.3%. No, but there is no percentage. It depends on the business. It depends on the place. It depends on the time. During Valentine's Day, it will be so expensive. So extremely subjective. Okay, thank you, Swati. Whom did I not say thank you to? Okay, thanks, Ashutosh. Thank you. Last option contacting. Okay, do that. You can always get in touch on the LMS. You can just write your query on the LMS. Santosh. Thank you, Peenal. Thank you, Shilpa. Okay, let's call it off then, guys. We're done. Thank you, Adnan. Thank you, Anil. Yes, bye, guys. Do take care and do sleep well and do stay connected. All the best. Bye. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you, Anand. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.